Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X. And unfortunately, no Ish this morning, but we do have a very special guest joining me today. We have a very special daughter of mine, Miss Noelle Wynn Williams, will be joining us on today's show. I felt as though since it's a kid version of NFL, we might as well bring the kid version of me here on the show. So thank you, Noe. So we'll go ahead and have her join me for today's show. So we'll also, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button. And as well, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future. And as well, if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out at on Periscope at X Talking Ish, and as well on my personal page at X underscore Williams 81. Like I said, I do have my daughter joining me for today. She'll be in and out of this shot just because she doesn't care to sit down for more than 2 minutes. So if you do hear any fussing, any fighting, don't mind. It's just my daughter trying to get her way, just like her trying to sit on my lap at this moment. So, with that being said, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to X Talking Ish, and hopefully, my little co-host will be very helpful and won't be too distracting for the viewers. Alrighty, then. With that being said, I mean, we have to take it right to the game that everybody's currently watching at this moment, and that is not the Toy Story game, but the real game, the Falcons and the Jaguars, depending on how you're watching it, either on ESPN Plus or, of course, on Disney Plus, and tuning into the cartoon version. There's some people that are enjoying this game different ways. Myself, I don't mind at all the Toy Story experience. It's cool to see a different experience, a different viewing of football just for a couple of minutes and whatnot. I'm tuned in for the first half. Most likely in the second half, I think I'll tune into the real game itself, probably around the fourth quarter. So, with that being said, if you tune into the show enough, you do know that Ish and I are very high on the London Jags. Anytime that the Jaguars decide to go out and go play in London, majority of the times they are going to get that dub, and we expect the same nonetheless. Of course, we make these picks before the game started, so Ish and I did have the London Jags before this game took place. Currently, let me verify the score from my partner here if she lets me, and it doesn't look like she's going to let me because she took over my phone. So let's see. Okay, thank you, Noe. Let's see what the game is, what the score, because we are in halftime. We should be starting up the third quarter. Okay, so we are 11:38 left to go in the third. Jaguars are up 17-7. So the Falcons look like they do have a little bit of life at the moment. They did go into half down 17-0. So we'll see what happens with the Falcons in the second half and see if they can make some type of comeback out of this game, make this game a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and move on to a game that definitely will be interesting, no matter how it plays out. But it definitely, like I said, will be very interesting to watch due to either what story down the line you're looking for. Are the Dolphins for real? Are the Bills for real? Are the offenses for real? Can the defenses slow down one of these offenses? Can these quarterbacks continue to keep playing at this high level? Can these wide receivers continue to keep playing at this high level? A lot of questions will be answered today at this Bills Dolphins divisional matchup in Buffalo. I would like for this game to be played in Miami for right now, and then for that second game of the matchup, most likely in January, they should decide to play this game in Buffalo, so we can see some snow action going on there. Nonetheless, Ish and I are agreeing of this game. We both have the Dolphins. I know. You don't like the Dolphins? We like the Dolphins though. I think Noe, she looks like she might want to be a Bills supporter today, so I think she's going to go with the Bills. Ish and I will take the Dolphins, and we'll see how this all matches up. Buffalo is a 2.5 point favorite in Buffalo, so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. If I'm a betting man, I think I might want to take the Dolphins in a straight victory here, be able to make a nice little come up there with that game. There are some. If you are on Prize Picks and you are checking out the odds there are a lot of great odds on Prize Picks for this game as well. I'm a big fan of the over on this game when it comes to yardage and anything passing yardage for both quarterbacks. So again, just in this game, just like we saw with the Vikings and the Chargers last week, definitely take the over because you'll be surprised what you can get out of this game when it comes to value. All right, let's go ahead and move on. And like I said, unfortunately, I do have my daughter here joining me. Not unfortunately, but fortunately, but she likes to cause a little mayhem. And as you can see, she is bringing up my keyboard. So just bear with me. I know, Mama, I know. I'm trying to get this show finished up for you so we can play the rest of the day. All right. Speaking of games that won't be played but will be played, unfortunately, Broncos and Bears. This is one of two of the toilet bowls for today. And this game, honestly, could probably go either way. Most people assume that the Broncos should win this game because of how bad the Bears are. But the Bears aren't the only bad team here. The Broncos are a bad team as well. Um, I I know the Broncos are supposed to win this game. They are a 3.5-point favorite. The Bears are coming off of their own, of course, issues within the coaching staff and also within player personnel as well. Looks like Chase Claypool will be a healthy scratch today due to some back and forth riffing going on within the player himself, Chase, and also the coaching staff. Pretty much Chase feels as though that he's not being used correctly within that offensive system. That being said, it looks like the Bears went ahead and said, hey, you're going to go ahead and sit this game. And, of course, they're going to make it a little bit tougher on Justin Fields. I got the Broncos winning this game, too, as well. But the reason why I picked the Bears is because I do want to see a little bit of mayhem. I want to see a little bit of finger pointing. I want to see a little bit of what the hell's going on inside of Denver if they do lose this game and Chicago ends up winning this game. Because just imagine you're Sean Payton, you're in the offseason, you're criticizing Nathaniel Hackett about how poor of a performance he had within the Broncos organization. And Sean Payton's supposed to come in here, he gets this nice, healthy pay bonus or whatnot, and all of a sudden you are stinking up the joints. If you start off 0-4, you can, of course, just kiss the playoffs goodbye. You're not making the playoffs, especially in the AFC. You should just figure out on how to save your job at this point. We saw with Urban Meyer with the Jaguars just a couple years ago. Just because you're a highly touted coach in the college ranks or even in the pro ranks as well, doesn't necessarily guarantee you a job moving forward just based off of past experience. Sean Payton hasn't coached in 10 plus years, so that was always a concern with Sean Payton coming back. Is he still able to coach in this type of era? Again, if he goes down 0-4, there's going to be a lot of questions to be asked in Denver moving forward. So we'll see how that one all plays out. Denver, don't go down 0-4. You have some explaining to do. All right, Ravens and Browns. This is a very interesting matchup just due to the AFC North as a whole. It seems as though anytime these teams matches up with one another, I'm talking about any team within the AFC North, no matter if it's Ravens, Browns, Bengals, or Steelers. Again, no matter who it is when it comes to this game within this division, it's always going to be a tough matchup within the teams in the division. Yes, I know. You don't care for the Browns either. I know. You want some more? You want some more? So with that being said, at this point in time, I do have an issue, and I have the Browns just due to their defense. The Ravens are coming off of course, their injuries. And also, of course, if you haven't heard the news, Odell Beckham and Rashard Bateman are out for this game as well, too. One thing that the Ravens, of course, hope to not have was that injury bug kick up throughout this season, but it looks like it's already starting earlier than it should for them. Also, just another season of more of the same for Odell Beckham when it comes to these injuries. At this point, he's just a name. And I know a lot of people don't like to hearing that when it comes to Odell fans, but Odell's not Odell. I mean, we got to stop thinking that this is still the same guy from 2013. That was literally 10 years ago. I know it's hard to get that out of your mind, the one-handed catch, but he's not that guy. I don't expect Odell to do anything too much with the Ravens throughout the season, except for mentor some guys, make a couple catches here and there, do a dance, pregame catches, the fun things that he do. But throughout the season, he's not a 1,000-yard receiver anymore. He's not going to catch 10 touchdowns in the season. Those days are past him. He'd be lucky to have 4 or 5 touchdowns on the season. And we'll see how this Ravens team performs moving forward with Lamar at the helm. All right, Steelers versus Texans. This is a great, how can you say, not a great matchup, but a great opportunity. I think this is a great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for the Texans because all the spotlight would be on them today, being at home. This is J.J. Watt's jersey retirement game. Of course, they will be celebrating J.J. Watt and everything that he was able to accomplish there in Houston. Of course, as well, the Texans will be playing against his brother, T.J. Watt, who I expect to have a big game to just show off, of course, that he can, of course, do what his older brother was able to do in Houston as well, too. And I know for sure that he will show up. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people today. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people today, but I'm actually picking the Houston Texans to win this game. And it's not because they're a better team, and it's not because the Steelers are a bad team. I honestly think that the Texans are going to do what they've been doing his last 3 games so far and just go out there and go play loose and carefree and nothing to lose. And for them, that's a dangerous opportunity to have against other teams that are playing for something like the Steelers. And last week they were able to upset the Jags at home in Jacksonville, I should say. And with that, a little bit of momentum, a little bit of belief within the organization, hopefully that carries over for today and allows the Texans to be able to pull out a sneaky one that they probably shouldn't win. But again, I think that they can win this game due to all the momentum of J.J. Watt jersey retirement. If that happens, because of, again, the way that they're playing, watch out for C.J. Stroud and also Tank Dell making a connection within this game, 4 to 6 catches between Tank Dell and C.J. Stroud that should allow the Texans to find a way to victory. All right, Vikings versus Panthers. At the moment, the Vikings are a 4.5-point favorite. And is mommy there? Oh, is that mommy? Hey, you want to go see mommy? And my daughter's off with her mother now. All right, so, and let's hope we can get this Zoom back. All right, let's get this focus back in. So, anyways, Vikings and Panthers, like I said, the Vikings are a 4.5-point favorite going into Carolina. And unfortunately, with this team, this game, I should say, this is the other toilet bowl game that we have here. Both teams coming into this game 0-3. Both teams are not as bad as their record shows. I don't think so. But obviously, especially the Vikings, the Panthers, I think they can easily have one game, but haven't been able to do that just yet. So obviously, this is the season game, determining game at the moment when it comes to either the Vikings and maybe make a run, because again, they are in the NFC. I could see them maybe getting that 7th seed, maybe even 6th seed, depending on how things turn out in the second half of the season. And for the Panthers, it seems as though that this season might be already a wrap, and it's going to be time for you guys to focus on next year to get Bryce Young better and more pieces around him and go from there. Ish and I both have the Vikings. Again, this is a game where you have to get. If not, look for trade talks maybe for Captain Kurt, maybe New York, maybe Atlanta. Looks like Atlanta's needing some quarterback help down there. I mean, we'll see what happens. But Vikings, man, very a team that we had very high hopes for, and just not letting the dividends pay off for that investment. All right, Rams versus Colts. We got two sheeps going at it for the most part. You got a ram and you got the colt. I want colt really not a sheep, but two animals. Okay. Anyways, I'll leave that alone. This game looks like it is a pick 'em, and Ish and I pretty much did that. We picked them. I have the Rams, and Ish has the Colts at the moment. Uh, and Anthony Richardson will be back coming off his concussion protocol, and I expect Anthony Richardson to do what Anthony Richardson does, which is in the air and on the ground. I just think the Rams are clicking as they try to get these young pieces up and going with Katu and also Tutu as well. Um, I have the Rams winning by a very, very narrow margin. I would say by 3. I don't think this is the game where they just blow out the Colts. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Colts find a way to win this game. But those games that the Colts are expected to win, they usually don't. The ones that they don't win or they don't expect to win, they usually don't as well too. So again, I don't know if the Colts have enough to pull out this game. So we'll go ahead and move on from that game. Buccaneers and Saints, NFC South divisional rivalry matchup. Interesting matchup here because this is a game within the game. And I'm not talking about the Buccaneers Saints. If you know, you know when it comes to Mike Evans versus Marcus Lattimore. Or my apologies, I said it right correctly the first time. Marshawn Lattimore. The last couple of times they gotten together, 3 different occasions, Mike Evans and Lattimore has gotten into it. Obviously, there's real beef there. These two are Peter Griffin and the chicken from Family Guy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I mean. On site, both of them, they look at each other and it's on site. Now, granted, for Mike Evans, Mike Evans, I'm a supporter. I fuck with you. But there are a couple times you definitely did get Lattimore from the back or either from the side where he wasn't looking. And I know you're from Galveston and I'm from Houston, but, in Houston, we don't do that. I know it's different in Galveston. I'm just saying, but in the H, we don't do that around here. So if you're going to square up with somebody, you got to square up with them. And Mike, you got a frame. You got 6'6" and whatnot. I know you ain't scared of nobody. So if this going to be the day where y'all going to have to throw blows, I need it to be square up, not from the side, not from the back. I'm still not a believer in the Buccaneers just yet, and mainly because of who's at the quarterback helm and also just other reasons as well. And I'm also still not sold on the Saints. I want to see more from the Saints. This is the game that Alvin Kamara will be back. Be interested to see how they work him in. But I want to see more from the Saints to guarantee, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, they look good. But on the offensive side of the ball, I want to see if they can get this all together again. Derek Carr is expected to play sprained AC joint. That is something that could linger on. That's also something for a quarterback is either one or two things. Either it can linger and you rehab it throughout the year, or you can go ahead and mess it up completely. And there have been times where I've seen where doctors will say you can go ahead and continue to play through it because you won't damage it even more. Even though it hurt, you won't continue to damage it, and we can get it taken care of in the offseason. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Derek Carr is not careful with that shoulder for let's just say next month or so, he could do even more damage to it to where it's just going to be something that he has to deal with all season long until he has to wait to the offseason to get surgery. So at this point, I'll take the Saints at home playing in the Superdome at 3.5. And if the Bucs want that game, you're going to have to come out there and go take it from the Saints. Commanders and Eagles, we got us a NFC East matchup here. Let's be honest. This game is for the Eagles to lose. They're at home, 8-point favorite. I mean, there shouldn't be a reason why the Eagles lose this game. Commanders are a good team, just not a great team. The Eagles are a great team playing against a good team. The Eagles do not need to play down to their competition. They need to play Eagle football. If they play Eagle football, they should win this game by at least 2 touchdowns. Yes, I'm claiming by at least 2 touchdowns. I know the big talk right now is the Jalen Hurts push when it comes to being illegal or legal or whatever it is or whatnot. Look, at the end of the day, it's football. You line up with folks, You go put them one-on-one, and it's mano y mano, man on man, hat on hat. Come and get some. And if we crying about this little play right here, and the reason why you can't stop the Eagles, maybe you're just not a good team. I'm just saying. It's not like they run this play all game, every game. How about you stop them on second and third down to where they're 3rd and 8 or 4th and 8 to where they can't hit a quarterback sneak. Can't sneak quarterback for 8 yards. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not really smart football. But again, how about you as a defensive team do what you need to do on defense and stop these plays, and we don't have to continue to bitch and moan about it and try to go to the NFL and try to change plays like the Buffalo Bills about not getting the ball in overtime. So we don't need to change the rules every time something doesn't go your guys' way. Okay, just for future reference. Bengals and the Titans. Titans. Last time that the Bengals matched up with the Titans in Nashville, that was in the playoffs, where Joe Burrow was able to overcome a 9-sack performance from the Titans and beat the Titans in the first round of the playoffs, and that was the second round of the playoffs, and that was also the second part of that momentum playoffs that allowed the Bengals to get to the Super Bowl that year. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Titans still have a sick taste in their mouth from that game, because if you're a Titans fan, most of you guys probably have a sick taste in your mouth from watching that game. It's something going on in Nashville. I just can't put my finger on it. Things just don't seem right. And I don't want to put all the blame on offensive coordinator. I don't want to put all the blame on Tannehill or the offense as a whole or this or that. It just seems as though we can't get the horses out of the gate at this moment. And if you're going to put up some points, this is going to be the game to do it if I'm Tennessee. If you can't put up any points, I mean, if I'm the Titans, you got to figure out something, not to salvage this season, but for moving forward. And I talked about Kirk Cousins maybe being a guy in trade talks going elsewhere. Ryan Tannehill's right there in that trade mix as well too. If we are not able to if we're not able to get what we were hoping to get out of Tannehill this season, I mean, might as well call it a wash and see what the young guys have. But even with the young guys, I honestly don't think that the young guys are good enough to take us to the next level, like you see with these other young quarterbacks around the league as well too. And there's no disrespect to Malik Willis or Will Levis. It's just the truth. Malik Willis has been getting better over the offseason, and have heard reports that he's a completely different player. But overall, I mean, it's hard to trust a guy that played quarterback at Auburn, and because he couldn't make it there, he decides to transfer to Liberty. You see what I'm saying there? Auburn as a college in general don't really produce great quarterbacks as a whole. You know, obviously exception Cam Newton. And some people would debate me on if Cam Newton was a great quarterback in general. So if you can't even really make it at Auburn, you have to go to Liberty. It's hard for me to really don you as the next great young quarterback, because you have to be knocking every checkbox off of the checklist to prove that you are a decent quarterback coming from either a small school, D2, D3, whatever it is type of thing. We've seen guys, of course, just recently. I'm not trying to harp on this guy because I know if you're an Eagles fan, you feel like I do. But obviously, a guy like a Carson Wentz, a guy like a Trey Lance, right? That North Dakota State, lineage. We can go guys like, Daniel Jones and Mitch Trubisky coming out of basketball schools when it comes to Duke or North Carolina. I just really never been a fan with taking guys from programs that they didn't wow you. Unless they wowed me at that program, I can't take them. That's just my opinion. Price Wellness says, no Jimmy G. Chargers should blow out these guys. Keyword should. But I'm happy that you brought the Jimmy G situation, because in this game. Jimmy G is out. So the rookie Raiders phenom that I've heard a lot about and a lot of Raider fans are very high on is Aiden O'Connell. I've already hearing comparisons to Rich Gannon back in the early 2000s, and just a guy that likes to just grip it and rip it. He has a cannon on him. He's a guy that a lot of Raiders fans feel as though that they can get back to their glory days with him. I can only put so much stock into preseason football. The reason why I bring it up is because I brought up Kenny Pickett playing well in the offseason, and so far in the regular season, he's just not performing at all. So with Aiden O'Connell, he's going to have to, of course, show us how well he can play going against his Chargers defense. I mean, it ain't the greatest defense in the world, so some of these numbers might be a little skewed, but overall, I mean, this is a great test for him having to go up against Justin Herbert, quarterback for quarterback play. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. First one that says him and DTR playing today. Yes, sir. For the Browns and whatnot. I didn't mention that earlier, but yes, Deshaun Watson will be out for that Browns game and DTR will be playing. Thank you for bringing that up. First one that says I calls him Brett Favre Jr. and Fracture Runner says DTR at the Browns QB. Yes, he is. Yes, he is, sir. And if Fracture Runner calls him Brett Favre Jr., then sounds like Aiden O'Connell might be throwing an interception today. Because one thing we know about Brett Favre, he's going to throw a touchdown. He also is probably going to throw a pick as well with that touchdown. Let's go ahead and move on to the Patriots and the Cowboys. This will be Zeke's homecoming. Is not in Texas. Here we have TSU homecoming going on right here in Houston, and if you go up the road about 4 hours down the street, we're going to have Zeke's homecoming in Dallas as he makes his way back to AT&T Stadium for the first time as a visitor wearing a Patriots uniform. I bet money, and again, as a betting man, I bet money there will be some tears. There will be some tears from Zeke's side. He misses his Cowboys fan base. He misses Dallas as a city. He misses, of course, his best friend Dak. So doesn't surprise me at all. Would not surprise me at all if there will be some tears coming out of Zeke's face. The Cowboys as a whole, though, Cowboys have too much on both sides of the ball. I understand that Diggs is out. I understand that the Cowboys defense did not look the same against Arizona last week. We did talk about that last week when it comes to Arizona. They play well. I mean, they're not punks. They're not pushovers. They just, it seems like they're tanking, but they're not. I don't know. Well, I don't know what's going on in Arizona. I just know that they play hard. And the Cowboys were a victim of the Cardinals' style of playing when it comes to just balls to the wall. We don't have nothing to play for. Let's just go out there and enjoy ourselves. And for this game, this is a get-right game. You're back at home cooking. You're playing against a guy that everybody in the organization, for the most part, probably love. But the Cowboys got to get back right. And for the Patriots, I think it's going to be a great chess match to see the Bill Belichick mind on defense go up against this offense for the Cowboys, to see, of course, who he takes away. Most likely, obviously, will be CeeDee Lamb. So who else is going to be there to have to step up throughout the Cowboys offense? Fracture Wanda says Zeke is about to go crazy. I mean, he hasn't so far. And if he does decide to go crazy, this definitely should be the game to do it because, if not now, then when? We talked about that he will be just another guy for the Patriots this season. And so far he is that. Maybe Belichick throws him a bone and gives him a couple more carries here in Dallas, obviously because of the significance of this game. But I'm not expecting Dallas Zeke with the Patriots this season. I'm expecting Patriots Zeke, which is, if at best, he's running for 600 yards this season with 5 touchdowns. Not a bad season, but it's not Ezekiel Elliott season. So, and speaking of those hard fighting Cardinals going up against the 49ers, let's just be real. 49ers should take care of business. Now, the 49ers don't take care of business at home against the Cardinals. I don't know what to really make out of this. I don't know if it says more on the Cardinals the 49ers playing with their food, or if the Cardinals really are just a good young scrappy team that can beat any team on any given Sunday. I mean, can we really just turn the Cardinals into that? Maybe this is just an early season, roller coaster amongst a team that's in flux and don't know what the hell they're doing, and the 49ers just got tripped up by a team. I don't expect this to happen. 49ers are a 14-point favorite. Maybe the Cardinals cover the spread by like 13, but if the 49ers are able to, really is going to come down to that first half. If the 49ers are able to oh Lord, I can't speak right now. If the 49ers are able to impose their will, my apologies, in that first half, to be able to run the ball, to be able to get to the quarterback with Nick Bosa, it's going to be a long day for the Cardinals. And most likely this game will be over with in the first half. And 49ers will probably be putting in their subs by mid-third quarter if this game goes as expected when it comes to the 49ers blowing out the Cardinals. All right, Sunday Night Football, Jets, Chiefs. Unfortunately, I don't have my guy Ish on today to talk about, of course, his Chiefs. But, of course, if you haven't heard, Taylor Swift has entered the NFL realm, and everybody is just benefiting from it so much now that Travis Kelce is getting more Instagram followers. Jason Kelce is getting more Instagram followers. The Chiefs are more popular than ever. Anything Taylor Swift does, it's just so great. It's a love story, right? I mean, with everything Taylor Swift, everything just has to be Swifty. And as they say, Taylor Swift must really like Travis Kelce to be going to this game because, as we all know, Aaron Rodgers will not be playing in this game. And this game could probably be over with faster than we expect it to be. Now, the Jets defense itself could keep this game a lot closer into the second half than what it should be, mainly because of the Chiefs' offense at this moment have not been clicking on all cylinders. Now, obviously, Eric Bieniemy is the main reason he's not there anymore, and that's easily 70-80% of the reason why it's not clicking as it's clicking right now. But we hold Patrick Mahomes to a very high regard as being not just the greatest quarterback of this era and this young guys, but some people are already throwing him as the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. So with that being said, he's a guy that can turn chicken shit into chicken salad. So I want to need him to make some chicken salad tonight and to make sure that he's able to take the Chiefs into New York, or I should say New Jersey, take care of business and bring them back home with a victory. And also, I'm pretty sure Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will stay in New York and have dinner again, and everybody will be taking pictures. And best believe, like I said, this will be something that'll be covered all season long. If you ain't tired of it by now, I know for sure I am. I don't want to hear none more about no damn Taylor Swift stuff because I already know what the repercussions are going to be after they break up. There's going to be another album that's going to come out. There's going to be somebody talking about how this happened and blah, 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 blah. I don't care, okay? It's football season. We need to be worried about football. I sound like an old geezer right now. I do not care, but I wish you guys the best. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Just don't let it cost your ring there, Travis Kelce. I ain't talking about the one you putting on her finger. I'm talking about the one that's supposed to go on your finger. All right. Before we do get out of here for today, though, and another reason why I wanted to make this a short pregame shows because I want to let y'all get back to the Toy Story event, of course, here in London when the Jags and the Falcons. I want to make sure y'all are tuning into that. But also, as always, we have our If I Was a Betting Man prize picks for today. Promo code PR-JVA61PN. Go ahead and join us on Prize Picks. You will get a $25 promo play if you go ahead and use that promo code as well. So go ahead and join us there. My 4 for today. Now, if this doesn't happen, then like I said last week with my prize picks just don't like me because this I feel as though should be a winner unless, oh wait, let me take it back. We might need to take back that Bryce Young because Bryce Young is supposed to be not playing. So let me go ahead and get somebody else in there. Other than that, though, Christian McCaffrey over 83 and a half rushing yards. DeAndre Swift, 65 and a half rushing yards. Go ahead and take the over on that. And as well, Adam Thielen over for 6.5 receiving targets. So if you were to place Bryce Young, I placed this bet a couple of days ago before they ruled him out. So that's going to be a reboot DMP on my slip to where he just obviously doesn't play, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'll get somebody else in there to take place for Bryce Young. And last comment of the night or the afternoon, for everyone that says some of these Jets games need to be flexed. No, I definitely agree on that. Not just the Jets, also the Bears as well too. Bears, for whatever reason, has like 6 primetime games. They need to get flexed as well too. Dominique Powell says, I didn't see that update. Well, check it out. You might see it. You might see it on there. Maybe check it out. Like I said, I need to go check it out one more time after I get done with this show. We appreciate you guys for tuning in for the pregame show once again. It should be back on Sunday of next week for our pregame show. Unfortunately, just had some work to finish up. We will be here, of course, on Tuesday for the Week 4 recap show, and we'll recap all of these wacky games from the weekend. And hopefully, we have us a good slate of football for today. If you guys are tuning in to, of course, this Sunday slate, hit me up. Let me know how you're watching it, where you're watching it at. And if you are a Texan fan, be on the lookout. I think this is upset city tonight. Upset city. All righty then. With that being said, we will join you guys on Tuesday for Week 4 recap. We appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to X Talking.